Hi, my name is Lauriane.
And I'm Laurie. And I will be asking questions to Lauriane. So, first question. In your analysis of competency 6, you say that it is the teacher's role to create a class environment where students are going to feel comfortable to simply be themselves. How would you concretely create an environment where your students feel comfortable?
Well, first of all, my main classroom rule would be respect. And to make sure that my students all understand respect the same way and also what I mean by respect. What I mean is examples such as being polite, judging and not judging the other children, being kind to one another. Through everyday actions, the students can show their respect to their peers. For example, they can help one another by holding doors or grabbing something that someone else dropped on the floor. Obviously, in this context, violence would be prohibited. Goes from simple words to bullying and to physical violence, such as fist fight and other things. Moreover, consequences would be given out to students who don't respect these rules. Consequences would be given out to these students in a way that they can reflect on their behavior and identify where it went wrong. Secondly, creating a strong bond with your students will help them feel more safe in my classroom. In fact, creating this bond with my students to create this bond with my students, there has to be trust between my students and me. When the students feel safe, they feel free to make mistakes without being judged, but also they are more inclined to come to me when they have a problem, and it creates a learning friendly environment where they feel comfortable emotionally and physically. As I mentioned earlier, whenever they have a problem, they would have a tendency to come and see me because they would feel that our relationship puts the students' emotion and problems first instead of being judged.
Good. So, question number 2. In your opinion, what are the key elements of a good planning?
In my opinion, the first most important element is to know who our students are. First of all, you have to know in which grade they are. That could be useful to know the level they are at in their learning. But also, you have to know if your classroom is made of a majority of girls or a majority of boys, since these classrooms will not have the same dynamics. In fact, and also these students, if the majority of a classroom is made of boys, they will not have the same interest as a classroom made of a majority of girls. Um, in fact, as I mentioned, girls might like princesses, whereas boys might be more into superheroes. Where they are from plays a good role also. Students can be from different countries, therefore they will have different lifestyle, different cultures, and probably different interests as well. The students' interest plays a major role in planning. In fact, it might be one of the most important factors to take into consideration when planning our classroom. As students are all different, they don't like the same things, and their attention will not be kept by the same subjects or topics. Teachers have to make sure that they reach as many students as possible in their classes with their teams. Also, one teachers it is reaching as many students in their classroom as possible is one of the teachers' biggest challenges in their career, as they will have to keep their students interested in their material. Knowing students become beneficial. Moreover, teachers have to take into consideration the POL. This document guides teachers as to what they should teach students during their school years, and what level their students should have reached by the end of the school year. The Ministry of Education wants students to develop competencies throughout their schooling. In ESL, there are 3 competencies: The first one is to interact orally in English, the second one to reinvest understanding, and the third one to write and produce text. The entirety of the classes planned by the teachers should revolve around these competencies, as they are the main goals of the program and also how the program was designed. Although a teacher have planned his or her class from A to Z, sometimes situations that are out of the teacher's control can happen. For example, during my practicum, I had planned my class. Everything was going really well until one student got up and came to see me, telling me that her friend was not feeling well. So I took the two girls outside of the classroom and I started asking questions to the girl that was not feeling well. And it turned out that the girl was not feeling her arm. She was hyperventilating. She was really panicking and she started crying. And so I looked at her and I said, okay, we'll go sit on the bench right over there. And then I started breathing with her because she was hyperventilating, so I did not want her to faint. And I started breathing with her. And when she got a little bit more calm, I asked her what happened and everything. And I asked her if she wanted to talk to me about it. And she said that she did not feel comfortable. So I said, no problem, that's fine. But this is only to illustrate a situation that even though you planned everything in your class, even though you thought every problem through in your planning, sometimes situations or problems can arise at the most unexpected moments, and you have to deal with it on the spot. So this could be also a good element to maybe include in your planning. Maybe have a plan B or something for your students to do while you're not in the classroom, but it's because you're taking care of something else outside the classroom. So those unexpected situation can cause a problem, and a good solution for that could be a plan B. So yes.
Okay, so for the last question, which competency do you consider the most important and why?
I think, according to me, the most important competencies among the 12 competencies is competency 6. This competency says that teachers have to plan, to organize, and supervise a class in such a way as to promote students' learning and social development. So this competency talks mainly about classroom management. In fact, when teachers plan classes, they try to prevent different problems that could happen during the class with their students. Already they will have thought of situations or problems that they could encounter in their classroom and solutions to solve them. This will allow teachers to be less stressed and leave less chances to lose control of their class. When these problems show up, the second part of this competency is to organize the class organization, and that this can have two meanings. It can be on how the classes are structured. For example, if a classroom has a routine, then this teacher will have to respect this routine every classes. But these routines become beneficial in classroom management because the students will know what they have to do and when they have to do it. So this not only reduces the waste of time during the classroom, but it also prevents teachers from losing control of the classes, since students will know will do the routine automatically, and this will also it will also help the transition between activities, since the students will know what they have to do, will do it by themselves, and they will not waste time not knowing what to do and being a little bit lost and ask their peers what they have to do, etc. So this class organization is an element to take into consideration. Also, organization can also mean physical appearance of the class. For example, are the desks going to be in individual rows, in pairs, or in islands of four? The fact that students are placed in pairs of or a group of four change the whole dynamic of the class. Students will have a tendency to speak more, and for example, and this could lead to less learning. The third part of this competency is supervision. It happens when the students are in class. So this is really the classroom management with the classroom. When teachers give a class, this is when the problem will arise. If planning was not thought through enough, it will show. Teachers will either lose control of the class, or students will get bored and not learn. Teachers will then have more classroom management to do, and lessons will not be as effective as it could have been, since there will be a lot of waste of time. Moreover, students who enjoy the class will be busy doing the task instead of disturbing, and this will prevent peers from learning. I think the other competencies will come along with this one. For example, while doing intervention, teachers have to be careful not to be disrespectful to students and stay ethical, hence competency 1. And so yes, I think that all the other competencies are related to this one.
Good, so thank you. I think that we are done.